We interrupt our normal programming to take you back to the premises of the late former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, where a delegation from the National Democratic Congress, led by their chairman, is there to commiserate with the family. My colleague Mausa, the leadership of Parliament, has also arrived at the House to commiserate with the family. My colleague Fauzu Masaudu is there and takes over from me here in the studio. Fauzu, tell us what's happening.
Hi, Eno, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Okay, all right, so if you can hear me, we are still coming to you live.
Former President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, where a number of notable persons have made their way here to commiserate with the baby. Presently, the leadership of Parliament and some members of Parliament have made their way here to perform, function. The leadership from both
caucuses. We can talk about, from the minority side, I see Madam Patricia PG, Deputy Minority Leader. I see the majority side, I see the majority leader himself and Member of Parliament for Boko Central, Honorable Muhammad Yariga.
A number of others leading the leadership of the House of Legislature. But before they got here, the leadership of the governing National Democratic Congress have also made their way here. They are seated already, led by the party's national chairman, Johnson Asiedi Intesia. So we are waiting for the leadership of Parliament and the members of the House to officially enter the inner, perimeter of the premises of the residence of the late former First Lady Nana Konadu
Agyeman-Rawlings, whose passing was announced yesterday while receiving treatment at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, formerly the Ridge Hospital. A number of notable figures. Oh, yes, the minority leader and member of parliament for Ifutu, Alexander Afenyomakin, just joined his colleagues to also commiserate with the bereaved family. They are having a few discussions. We want to understand as to how they can, enter the place and other necessary arrangements as members of the family, the late, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings' family, are already seated with the head of the family, Nana Oheneba Akwesi Abeye, also from the Menchia Palace. It's largely a solemn atmosphere with a curious media who are keeping their tabs on what there is to report as regards the passing of the former First Lady, the longest serving, for that matter, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, who served in both military regime and civilian rule. However, all four children are seated here with the head of family as well. It's been a busy day, just a day after the announcement of the passing of the former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Presently, in the background, if you can hear, it's an official introduction of leadership of the National Democratic Congress, who already seated. If they got here just a minute or two before the leadership of Parliament and also some members of Parliament also joined. They are still, waiting at the outer foyer, if you like, of the residence of the late former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Hopefully they'll be seated and then we'll go through the necessary tradition as custom demands, and then we'll see if we can have any of them to share a word or two. Just so you know, a while ago, the Member of Parliament for Tamale South,
Minister for Education, Haruna Kristo, is also here. And the camera is able to Yoga, if the camera is able to live, success. the leadership of Parliament describes a number. Yeah, the majority leader, member of Parliament for Bokut Central, Honorable Hassan. I beg your pardon, Honorable Mahama Alareja, the minority leader, member of Parliament for Bokut Central, Honorable Daniel Martin. I also see Council Member of Parliament for Adam, also a leader on the majority side of the House. Yes, so presently they are entering the inner perimeter of the residence. There's an area that has been brought to, protocol. So they are exchanging pleasantries with the family, all four present, and other relatives of the former First Lady, Nana Agyeman-Rawlings. So yes, I said, Member of Parliament for Bawi, Honorable Jerry Ahmed Sahib, is also the deputy minority, second deputy minority secretary. So we are really here in their numbers to communicate with a figure who has largely been described as an iconic figure to Ghana's political landscape. Many have described it as a yardstick for essentially the justice, giving a passion towards the driving women empowerment, sparking
conversation about educating the girl child, and how integral she was during her husband, the late Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings' reign as president, both in the military regime and the civilian rule. So if you are watching us live on ChannelOne television or listening to us on City 97.3 FM, the big story is that Ghana's longest serving First Lady, Nana Agyeman-Rawlings, has departed, and a number of individuals, both government officials, a section of the public, and what have you, have made their way here at the residence in Accra to commiserate with the family. It's been a busy day. So yes, they are going around to exchange pleasantry. I see Madam Patricia PJ, Deputy Minority Leader, presently also. Yes, I also see Member of Parliament for Wija Bawi, Honorable Jerry Ahmed Sahib, and the rank and file of both sides of the House of Legislature. We know how Nana Agyeman-Rawlings, while she was alive, how ubiquitous she was. I mean, there was barely a day, you would not find her there in the House, in Parliament, during any national event, talk about budget reading, and other functions. Madam Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings was usually found somewhere in the gallery there, or the spaces designated for important figures like her, yes, supporting. So yeah, we are still coming to you live from the residence of the late former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Yes, I see Honorable Okovandapoi, Member of Parliament for Ablekuma South, who also served as mayor, former mayor or Metropolitan Chief Executive for the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, a very popular one for that matter. They are all here in their numbers, and when we talk about Okovandapoi, he has a history with the Rawlings family, particularly Jerry John Rawlings, but that will be a conversation for another day perhaps. The news is that former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings is no more, and the entire nation is mourning. Yes, I just spotted Member of Parliament for West Central and Minister for Employment, Jobs and Labour Relations, Honourable Dr. Rashid Pelpu. exchanging pleasantry presently with leadership of the governing National Democratic Congress. The umbrella fraternity are here in their numbers also to commiserate following the passing of the spouse or founder of their party, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. It's been a busy day here, and we've been keeping our tabs, bringing you all there is to know on this recent development. It's quite a long queue if you ask me. Yes, the members of parliament are still trickling in their numbers, entering the inner perimeter of the residence of the late former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, whose passing was announced yesterday while receiving treatment at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. Largely solemn atmosphere, a moment of reflection and what have you. Earlier, Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tete, popular, man of God, was also here, who shared a few words of consolation to the bereaved family. Member of Parliament for Tamale South was also here a while ago, Honorable Haruna Idrisu. And one thing that has been running all through the eulogy or the tributes that have been pouring in for the former First Lady was her dedication, towards empowering women, being an active, force in Ghana's political landscape, championing conversations of national development, and what have you. They say if there is any woman to look up to in politics, out of one, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings is most likely to be one. So yes, members of parliament have made their way here at the residence of the late former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings to perform what has been happening all day, commiserating with the bereaved family. So just so you know that both leaders of the majority and the minority caucus are all here. And we see the majority leader and member of parliament for Boko Central, Mahama Ayariga, here. Also the member of parliament for Efutu and minority leader, Honorable Alexander Apenyo Maken, also here to commiserate with the bereaved family. It's a nation in grief, really. Earlier, when the Busu opinion spoke, he said that, and then of course, one of her daughters, a member of parliament for Zanetor, and she alluded to the fact that, but for Nana Konadu's, relatively old age, which is 76, this would have largely been described as a shock, given the fact that just a day before her demise, the former First Lady was active and even attended a public event, only for them to wake up the next morning and to be hit by this sad news. But all in all, to the fact that death is indeed inevitable, it is that visitor who keeps gate crashing. You would never, it doesn't come pre-announced, yes. So they are finding solace in this entrenched part of our existence as humans. Again, if you just tuned in to ChannelOne TV or City 97.3 FM, we are still coming to you live from the residence of the former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, who passed away yesterday at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital receiving treatment. A number of notable figures and section of the public have all been here to commiserate with the family, but presently is the leadership of the National Democratic Congress, funded by the party's national chairman, Johnson Asiodun Ketia, popularly known as General Mosquito, who, of course, worked closely with the Rawlings family, precisely former President Jerry John Rawlings and his wife, Nana Agyeman-Rawlings, who are both no more with us. In a third, we'll be hearing from them, the leadership of the NDC, and of course, leadership of the House of Legislature, who have also joined in here. And the residents commiserate with the bereaved family.
On your behalf, ask the chairman of the party to make his intervention before
as announced, we will be hearing officially from leadership of the governing National Democratic Congress, but now presently is the head of family speaking to officially welcome the delegation present here. The head of the family, Oheneba Akwesi Abeye, and of course from the Menchia Palace, is speaking. We want to pick that sound.
Under normal circumstances, we wouldn't see all of you here. And something really significant must have triggered you leaving house. I'm not sure whether you were being chased by a big elephant. No pun here. But I would like that your chairman kindly stands up so that the majority leader, obviously, the majority leader understands it here. Honorable majority leader, you've now delegated your shoes to him. That's right. So, Majority Chief Whip. Thank you very much. You will now tell us your mission. Go back.
Yo, Mr. Penny, on behalf of the Speaker of Parliament, the entire leadership of Parliament, and the clerk to Parliament, as well as the head of the Parliamentary Service, we are here out of the tragedy that has befallen us unexpectedly. We are here to commiserate with you. So we would need to extend this to the family. We are also shocked by what happened, especially because our mother was in the news on Wednesday.
Hello, Acho Hanyedi, please. Let's have some quiet, please. Let's have some quiet.
Especially because our mother was in the news on Wednesday. To hear this on Thursday, it was shocking. So I would hand over the mic to the majority leader, the leader of the delegation, to but the tradition is that on occasions like this, you need to come and ascertain the veracity or otherwise of what has been.
Would get back to Bushapeni to find out whether or not what we have heard is indeed true. I thank you.
Get back to you, Get back.
Let me thank
the majority chief whip, and to say that yesterday in Parliament we had a very important business of the Committee on Security and Intelligence to meet and plan the consideration of a very important bill that has been laid in the House. The chairperson of that committee happens to be our own colleague, the Honorable Zanetor Agyeman-Rawlings. We had assembled to work when we received the message that our chairperson was unable to join us because she had an emergency. And so that got us very worried. What was the nature of the emergency? So we decided that given that our chairperson had an emergency, we had to postpone the meeting. And we postponed the meeting. Later in the day, we saw reportage on social media and later by some traditional media houses regarding what the emergency was. We did not believe it. We were shocked. And so we could not even really sit in the House yesterday. We promptly adjourned proceedings and decided that we wanted to proceed here immediately yesterday afternoon to ascertain the veracity of what we had heard. And when we had assembled to hasten to this house, we were told that the family was immediately unavailable to receive us. So we rescheduled to come here to find out exactly if what we had heard is indeed what had transpired. And so today again, we curtailed proceedings and we're here, all the members of Parliament who attended sitting today, both the majority and the minority. So before us here, the NDC members of Parliament and the NDC members of Parliament, led by myself and my colleague, the minority leader, and the entire leadership, and then the second deputy speaker, because our speaker is out of the jurisdiction, and the first deputy speaker is out of the jurisdiction, and the clerk is also out of the jurisdiction. So his deputies are here to represent him. So Parliament is here to hear from the family if indeed what we heard is what actually happened. That is what has brought us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ayaga. Indeed, your very presence here, the whole of the House of Parliament, your very presence here, indicates the enormity of what has happened or befallen our nation. It's without Her Excellency Agyeman-Rawlings was a rare in this country. As you said, the committee of which her first daughter, Zanetor, meeting yesterday up because of an emergency. An emergency, indeed it was. Of your colleague has correctly said, on Wednesday, and she attended prayers. She attended the burial service of her aunt, Mrs. Ifa. Those of you who were able to watch see that she was sitting very close to His Excellency ex-President before, and others. So nothing could have hinted us that she was in any kind of distress. As usual, in her normal, vivial form, she went round greeting everybody. And then we dispersed. In the early hours of yesterday, however, as Zanetor explained to me when she beckoned me to come, she felt rather unwell and was, as it were, rushed to the Rich Hospital, which is very close to her residence. The doctors there did their best, and by their report to me when I visited them, they did their best. All the talent, medical talent at Rich Hospital was assembled for her survival. But unfortunately, if there's one dispute we humans cannot fight with God or Allah, it is at the point of death. It's at the point of death when the Creator shows his might, and Nana succumbed to her Creator. It was a very, very, very difficult situation. We had no choice but to immediately inform His Excellency the President of the Republic, who quickly summoned us to come to his office. So I led the delegation of the